Somebody got that.
Hey VFX, this is Izzy Moreno, and you're watching Count.
Happy New Year, heels and baby faces. Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I'm your host, JC. Joining me is that guy, Tommy.
Hello.
And we got Big Mike.
What's up, guys? It is 2025, and I got nothing to rhyme, so we're just going to go with it.
I thought you would bring it back.
We were all sitting with bated breath since last week's show, steady wondering if the rhymes were coming back, and it doesn't appear that
they are not.
So, unless he comes up with something within the next, year. Hope everybody had a fun and safe New Year's. This 2024 was such a great year for us, for wrestling. And we're kicking off the new year for 2025 with our first episode of the year. Tommy's favorite episode of the year because we do get to talk about Wrestle Kingdom.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And we're going to talk a bit also about AEW Worlds End, which took place this past weekend. And then present our Year End Awards for 2024. What we think are some of the best that happened the past year, some of our fun little extra awards we have to present and whatnot. So, man, any wrestling news out there to discuss other than AEW finally moving to Max?
There was some sad news for a Hall of Famer, Sweet Daddy Siki, who was 91, passed away the last couple of days. One of the first most prominent African American wrestlers. Back in the day. I think wound up in Canada. I don't know if he was from Canada or wound up there and trained like Edge Christian and a bunch of those guys that came through that Canada corridor. So,
okay.
I'm pretty sure he's a Hall of Famer too with WWE. So,
just had influence somewhere, right? So, yeah. That's craziness, especially with what happened today in New Orleans. If you haven't heard, I was shocked. I woke up late, after having fun for New Year's last night. Things you don't think about, but woke up to that news, and I found out because I was watching College Game Day. Finding out that the Sugar Bowl had been postponed till tomorrow. So, just be safe out there. That happened in New Orleans, the truck bomb in Vegas. Just be safe, please, everybody.
Yep.
On the wrestling side of things, we did this past Monday get our final Raw on USA Network, potentially for good? Question mark?
Who knows?
Netflix has a lot of money right now. We'll see if it keeps on coming. So, and then of course today was the first AEW Dynamite of the Max era, which I haven't gotten to watch. But hey, I have it loaded right now. I can actually watch it while we're doing this, so it's gonna be kind of wild. So, what's up?
Oh, nothing. I'll just clear my throat.
Okay. And then I know upcoming on January 11th is the next Hybrid Experience show. They did announce a title match already, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Casey's defending against who?
The crown jewel of the Bullet Club, Chase Owens.
What a hell of a way to start 2025, right?
Yeah.
And they announced another match today. It's Izzy Moreno versus Carolina Cruz.
Right.
Interesting.
They've actually announced, I think already 4 matches. Dead Man's Hand is taking on, It's 3 heels. It was, I think, Jet Black now with heels. And then there was a tag match, Animo and Danny Vintage versus Most Wanted, which, Tommy, I'm not sure if you're familiar with them or not.
No.
I will take that as I'm not sure. Let me look it up. But yeah, there's 4 matches.
I know half of Most Wanted. I know Xavier Gotti.
Okay.
Yeah.
So quick turnaround here to Hybrid in 11 days, 10 days now.
Yeah. So
and they always put on a great show. So.
Okay, I just looked again, and Dead Man's Hand, they're facing Jet Black, Armani Sage, and Rilo King.
There
Okay,
you go.
can Rilo be like?
Look, he's just going to come out with a sign this time. Be like, today I'm a heel. Today, I mean, pretty sure he's a heel on this one.
I mean, to be fair, as a guy who's supposed to be the Riot King, not being able to pick which side he's on, that's kind of Riot related. You know, you just kind of just go do shit randomly. Yeah, that's kind of
Just
Riot
in the
related.
middle of it, yeah.
All right.
I can't think of his gimmick and not think of a joke from Avatar: The Last Airbender where they're trying to start a prison riot and the guy just says, "Can you start one? Are you kidding? Easy." He just walks over, grabs a guy, hoists him in the air, and says, "Hey, riot!" And the whole court, the whole prison yard starts fighting. It's like that made no sense, but I loved every second of it.
See, I always think of, unfortunately, Riot Squad, but like the one time they were like cutting to a commercial, they show them backstage, and their riot is just like knocking over the trash can, knocking things off the table, tipping over a few things. And I was like, okay, that's close.
I always laugh because, like, yeah, they're a Riot Squad, but they seem like really nice ladies. I don't know if I really buy the whole riot part of their gimmick. So.
Oh gosh. Hey, another thing I just thought about news-wise, the WWE Network is officially no more.
Oh yeah, that is true.
Yeah. I got reminded of that because somebody put up the last moments of WWE Network in Canada, and it was literally in the middle of the Nia Jax and Liv Morgan match at Crown Jewel. I guess they're restreaming that, and it really gets to the part where Nia puts Liv Morgan on top of the top rope, and then boom, cut off. This channel's no longer available. Done.
Okay.
I mean, they could have warned someone about. Jeez.
Not to throw us off the rails, but do y'all remember Gremlins 2?
Yeah.
Where they take over that CNN like replica building, basically.
Yeah.
And the guy who runs it, like, he's like, I was always afraid that something like this might happen. And he literally has like a video package for the end of the world. I don't know if y'all remember that.
Yes.
But he's like, if you're a C in this, then the world must be coming to an end.
Yeah.
We had A&N or whatever it was, like the parody of it. We'd like to thank you. They play like B-roll and then like the American flag.
Oh,
That's
man.
hilarious.
So funny. I'm curious to see how this appears like as videos come out. See, how did WWE Network officially go off the air in all these other countries, right? So,
Yeah.
And I guess my point is, why would you not have something set to end it and just be like, yep, match?
I don't know. Just done right in the middle of it here. Boom,
Yeah.
done.
That's weird.
Honestly, canceling in the middle of of a match, that's a very WCW way of doing things. So they should have ended themselves.
They should have had like Hell in a Cell, and right as he choke slams him to the cage, cut, so you don't get to see like what everybody's waiting for.
Yeah,
that
mentioned
that was another way to anger wrestling nerds in something we know we've already seen. We'd still get mad anyway.
Yeah. It's funny you mentioned WCW. That would have been a hilarious to just cut in the audio. We gotta go. We'll see you next week.
or even better, if they had played the Goldberg DDP match and they cut exactly what the pay-per-view cut all those years ago.
Okay, that would have been funny too.
That would have been good humor for sure. So, all right. Well, let's get into AEW.
All these great ways they
Worlds
could have
End.
cut that off, and we could have just given them, and they just closed. Okay.
Yeah.
So many jokes they missed the opportunity.
Legacy and Nerd, I need to get back to a hybrid show, myself included. I've missed a couple, and I want to try and get back on the 11th, hopefully. So, see if I can make it out there for sure.
Huh.
So,
Weird.
but,
Someone's showing up, and JC's getting back out to a hybrid show.
No, honestly, Jesus Christ. The only thing I have planned that day right now is one of the coaches on the assistant coach got me some tickets for the Navy All-American game that day at the.
I'm looking at my calendar and just realized that I haven't changed them yet.
Yeah, I changed mine. Okay. I got my. I swear, I've had a Zelda calendar in this office for like 4 years in a row now, so it's awesome.
Wait, when are the next? When's the semifinal college games?
9th and 10th.
Oh,
so I think the what is
that? Thursday, Friday?
Yeah, I know the Cotton Bowl's on Friday, and then the Orange Bowl is on Thursday.
Interesting.
So, and then the championship is on the 20th, which is MLK Day. So, yeah,
day off, nice.
Yep. All right, AEW Worlds End. Full disclosure. Wait, are PLEs on Netflix now? No, just on. Okay, I think internationally, yes, they are.
Yeah,
but in the US, I think there's 2 more years on the deal with Peacock right now.
I think so.
Yeah, so right now Netflix strictly has just Raw. In the US, right now Peacock still has a hold on basically the entire WWE network in the United States for another couple years. and then Netflix is going to throw
I'm
Chingos money
sorry,
to get
this
it
whole
moved
thing is
over.
confusing. How this
It
is supposed
is.
to work? I'm like, what the hell?
Internationally, it's everything's on Netflix pretty much. Netflix, it's like that's how it goes.
Yeah.
So
VPN. Okay.
yeah. VPN and get around that fucking.
I used to watch shows on the UPN too.
Yeah, that me too.
Actually,
Before
was a
it became
decent
the CW.
network for a while.
Yeah.
They actually had some fun shows.
Mm-hmm.
So full disclosure on World's End, none of us have gotten to sit down and watch it. It's been a crazy few days, but some of the highlights and everything, I am definitely it's on my list. From everything that I have seen, all the updates, all the highlights. Obviously, anybody can go out there and look at the results. We've all seen the results at this point. Is anybody here surprised Okada retains the Continental Championship?
I was until what happened after the match.
I was
happened, and then I
about to say the
wasn't
same thing.
anymore. I was like, oh, okay, now I get it. 'Cause I really thought they were going to give it to Ospreay.
Yeah.
I really did.
And from what I heard, both of those, well, I guess all three matches, were just ridiculous. Like the Ospreay Fletcher match.
Yeah.
Because I just saw clips of him going into the final first, and he's like bandaged and bloody, and he's like what did you just get in a car accident and then come to the match? Like, what happened?
I mean, if he was Mick Foley, that would make a lot more sense.
Yeah.
How
So
soon do y'all think we get Omega Okada in AEW?
what's their first Revolution? Maybe
Revolution.
I'm thinking Double or Nothing.
You think they wait till Vegas, Double or Nothing in Vegas?
I think they wait till Vegas.
Okay.
I think they get. I think they start building up towards it, but I think they wait till Double or Nothing.
Okay. Pretty much, honestly, like the rest of the show went about as we expected. No major surprises. Mike, you're the only one that took Adam Cole on the Dynamite Diamond Ring. MJF got the win with that, but
and then he
still
beat
got
him
his
up
ass beat.
afterwards. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So,
I got a moral victory, just like Adam Cole.
Did you see the promo MJF cut afterwards?
They showed it tonight.
Is
that the one where he's laying in the back and he's
he was laying in the back, yeah.
And he goes on to talk about
like just the world title.
Yeah, about Moxley. That's what
Moxley. Yeah,
I
like that because
I'll get to watch it. So yeah.
Ooh, Jason All In. That would be for us.
All in. Ooh, boy.
Oh, that would. Yeah,
that would be epic.
That would be epic.
So. Let's see what else. Anything major? Mariah May retained in a street fight over Thunder Rosa. We all thought Statlander was going to beat Mercedes Moné, and they kept the TBS Championship on Moné for some reason. I don't know if it's just to protect her because she's also the strong openweight champion. And
because then she about to fight Nina.
It's because, and I forgot about this when I picked her at Wrestle Dynasty, which is after Wrestle Kingdom. I think she's putting.
It's her and Mina Shinakawa, right?
Yeah. Well, so okay. I thought the TNT title was the TBS title wasn't. It's not, but her strong openweight title is. Yeah. But I think that's for one reason they just want to keep her strong going into that. Now, honestly, I could see Mina winning that match. I can't lie, but we'll see.
Okay, who do you think gets this TBS Championship off of Mercedes at this point? Because I feel like she's run through everybody.
In my perfect fantasy world, this is why Athena hasn't lost the ROH Women's title yet. Is because she's going to come take it off of her. Because I feel like she's going to pull Samoa Joe and just give the belt to Billy, more or less. Because I don't know if you guys heard this. Athena kicked Lexi Nair out of the Minions group and said, "It's just me and you, Billy." And she said, "Forever and ever." And of course, I went to shouting immediately, and ever and ever and ever.
I get what you're saying, but at this point, would it actually help Billy for her to just give it to her and not for Billy to finally?
Yes, because then the question of Billy ever even deserves it comes in, and then she'll spend her entire title reign proving it. Because in my booking mind, she has to prove it to literally every single person she fights that she deserves it, and like even if she like has like a perfect title reign for like a year and then loses, someone will just say, "Ha, see, you never deserved it in the first place." So
I love how you always have your answer ready when you're defending your
dude. Whenever I argue with someone on the internet, I know I have to be ready to make my point, even if they don't agree. Like someone. Here, I'll give you a good example. Someone said the other day how AEW games are starting, and they're saying that's just AEW copying up, down, down. And I said, Exactly. Your face, Mike, is what I said. And I said, Adam Cole's been doing gaming by himself for years. So has Evil Uno.
Yeah.
And Up, Down, Down was not a WWE thing. That was Xavier Woods on his own, and they made him put them with the WWE, or else they're going to take it away from him. He didn't have a choice. So no, it's not remotely the same thing because Up, Down, Down was never WWE's to begin with.
No,
I'm
he
sorry.
didn't even call himself by his ring name. They all had a different name.
Yeah,
names. Everything.
It's what I always say. If you don't like AEW, that's fine. I honestly don't care. But dislike it for logical reasons. Don't just say, "Oh, they're just copying." No, they're not. If you don't want to like something, don't like something.
Well,
so
if Athena, I know what you mean. But if Athena does show up, they're gonna have to do a video package because it's only the 15 fans that have seen her on ROH. So,
God damn.
Just kidding.
Jesus.
Well, unless they put those pay-per-views on Max now, I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. But yeah, I mean, yeah. As far as pick results on Worlds End, Mike went 5-3, and Tommy and myself went 6-2.
Nice.
So, again, we haven't fully seen it yet, so can't give us WrestleCast ratings. But I do got to say this: one of the highlights that I've seen from this is seeing Rated FTR is the 3-man tag team I did not know I needed in my life, and I'm kind of pretty excited about that. So, yeah.
Adam Cope, like WWE not allowing them to take their WWE names with them is really affecting him because because he can't figure out the right thing to call himself. So now he's the Rated R Superstar Cope.
Yeah,
and he's just trying to use Cope as Edge was.
Yeah, I did see
just say Adam Copeland. It's not a big war. Just say Copeland. Fuck it. There's so many Adams at this point anyway.
Yeah.
So.
I think that's unfortunately something that also hurts Mercedes Moné is if they could just say Sasha Banks, so many people would be like, oh, I'm not sure how many casual fans realize Mercedes Moné if they just heard it as Sasha Banks, or if Adam Copeland, or any other version of that is Edge. Now, Rated R Superstar obviously helps a bit.
Yeah.
But, when you're legends like that.
I feel like the casual fans kind of don't care either way because they'll just flip back and forth, whichever.
Yeah, no, but I'm just saying, if they heard, oh, Sasha Banks in AEW, you could use the name, or, oh, Edge is going to be there. I just think some of the casuals would have more of a, at least they'd be like, oh, let me check it out.
Yeah.
Just thought.
He's coping for coping puffs is what Jason has to say about that.
Wow. That joke took some thought, and that's why I respect it. That joke required some thinking to it.
I will say one other thing from the clips I've seen. I've kind of been complaining, obviously, that Willow Nightingale only came out a few times to deal with Marina Safira, but they kind of paid that off because they did one of the Jay White turn around, didn't realize it was her, and hit her with the switchblade.
Yeah.
Which the fans really popped for. So I was like, okay, so it was kind of like the Baron Corbin hitting Becky Lynch. It came out of nowhere. They don't do it a lot. Clearly, obviously, they don't do the men versus women either. So it had a payoff to, I guess you could say.
Laws.
Yeah. All right. Well, we are now going to move into the show, the portion of the show where Tommy is going to take over as host, guys. This is Tommy's highlight of every year. Happens at the beginning of the year, which kind of sucks because the rest of the year, for Tommy's sake, goes to shit because there's no more Wrestle Kingdom for the rest of the year, So
more or less.
Tommy,
you're entirely wrong.
No, just messing with you. Have at it. Give us our preview of Wrestle Kingdom 19.
Okay, so Wrestle Kingdom 19 is back to one night. Wrestle Kingdom's back to one night again, but that's because Wrestle Dynasty is literally the next day. And I don't know if you wanted to bring that up too and talk about what they have on tap for that. But
I mean, it's up to you if you want to talk about it. I mean, okay. I can pull the card up if you want at this point.
No, I got to pull it up. That's why I was asking. It's got a lot on it. That's why.
I mean, Claudio is on that, Mike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, no, I hear.
Yeah, we'll talk about Wrestle Dynasty then. But okay, no. So Wrestle Kingdom 19. Of course, January 4th, back at the Tokyo Dome, January 4th Tokyo Dome show. And they have, of course, announced the New Japan Rambo, which is their version of a Rumble. But this is interesting. The King of Pro Wrestling title is not on the line this year. Instead,
my 1 minute warning will have related to that, and we'll talk about it.
I kind of suspected that,
Yeah,
but
so
I was
don't
waiting.
spoil it.
I'll read it up to see what your reaction will be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
instead, the Rumble is going to be for a #1 contendership for the IWGP World Championship.
Mm-hmm.
No one has been announced yet, so given how Japan has been fluctuating with talent trading back and forth, I wouldn't be surprised if we see some Noah talent, some All Japan talent, Dragon Gate. I mean, they may or may not show, but I'm just saying I wouldn't be surprised. But
Hell, even when you look at who's in coming to Wrestle Dynasty, you could see some AEW talent too.
True.
So, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Noah, almost won the tag titles over there just today.
Nice.
Yeah.
Is he still under contract with WWE?
Yes.
Because
Okay.
Nakamura was there too. He wrestled a dude.
Okay.
But it was New Japan. Noah's first show of the year. Almost won the tag title, and Shinsuke faced one of their newer guys and won.
No, he did win the tag titles, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
Yeah.
He with.
I thought you said he almost did. Okay.
No, he did. With team 2000X. That's their name.
Huh. Okay.
Supposedly, I don't know. Someone said online that he's the first person still under WWE contract to win a Japanese title while still under WWE. I wasn't sure if it was
As far as I know, that's accurate.
Yeah.
Wow.
Which
Yeah,
is crazy.
Yeah, usually everyone's not under contract game. As far as I know, that's accurate. He's the first guy while he's still under contract to win a belt.
Yeah.
Somewhere else in Japan.
That's crazy.
So that's the Rambo. Don't know who's going to be in it. #1 contendership. So can't pick it. We don't know who's in it. So, but moving on.
Mike's picking Claudio. Just gonna throw that out there.
Actually, I wouldn't be mad.
Or Jeff Cobb.
Jeff Cobb, yeah. Well, he's already wrestling that night.
Oh, no, Jeff Cobb actually has a match already.
Yeah.
Hey, double duty.
All right.
Oh my God, Tommy's so old he made me forget it was Wednesday and made me stay up. Made me show up late. What does my age have to do with any of those things? Like seriously.
First of all, Angel, if your resolution is to type in all caps, no, that's not going to fly. Jeez, come on, man. So, golly. So,
Taz was the last one with the ECW title.
The old people need you to turn it down a little bit.
Yeah, but that wasn't Japan. Say again.
No, I said the old people need you to turn it down a little bit, Angel.
Yeah. All right. Sorry, Tommy, keep interrupting you.
No, you're good.
Man. Yeah.
What I'm gonna guess is gonna open the show. Originally, it was just gonna be a fatal 4-way for the IWGP Junior Tag Titles. They sweetened the pot a bit. Mm-hmm. It's now the 4-way Tokyo Terror ladder match with the intergalactic jet setters of Kevin Knight and Kushida defending against the Ichiban Sweet Boys, Robbie Eagle, Kosei Fujita, which is also part of TMDK. Mm-hmm. Catch 2 of TJP and Francisco Akira from United Empire. And the Bullet Club War Dogs, Clark Connors and Drilla Maloney from, of course, Bullet Club.
Yeah.
I legitimately have no idea who to pick on this match, and because I was kind of thinking intergalactic jet setters until they said the words ladder match, and I was like, well, damn, I don't know who I'm picking anymore.
Quick note: the order that I have here on the agenda is the actual order of the matches that has been announced. For this. Yeah. I'm like. Really, like I have to pick one of these 4 teams in a ladder match. Like anything can happen. So this is wild. So
and I know a lot of people would say, well, just pick Bullet Club because they cheat to win. Yeah, but TMDK is part of this match too. They cheat all the freaking time except for Zack Sabre Jr. wrestle. So
also, I feel like American tag teams don't put as much thought into their team names as these Japanese teams do.
No.
There is some truth to that. Because I know Ichiban Sweet Boys makes me laugh, but Bullet Club War Dogs is whatever. You know what though? But just
Mike, you okay there?
Sorry, I heard something, and my printer decided it was time to like clean itself or something.
New year, new me. The printer said.
I guess so. Sorry,
you're better than me because out of pure fear, I'd just be like, "Hey, I'll see y'all tomorrow," and I just left the house. So
yeah.
Look, it's been a good run.
Yes. I guess I'll go intergalactic jet setter just to be on the safe side. But okay. I will be not surprised at all if I'm wrong. Do you guys want to pick or?
Yeah.
Okay, Jason.
Hey Siri, give me a number between 1 and 4.
A random number between 1 and 4 is 4.
4. Okay. Bullet Club War Dogs, they're the previous champions. I'm not mad about that, but yeah, I'm just gonna go with that.
I think everyone except for the Ichiban Sweet Boys are former champions. So
Yeah, the War
damn!
Dogs
I didn't think about that. Shit. Okay, sorry.
the War Dogs had it more recently, so yeah. So
Yeah, they did. You're right.
About that. All right,
Mike.
Well, Catch-22 is a no-win situation, but if there's 4 teams, that's a 25. No, I can't do that. Catch-22.
Okay.
I was about to try a Steiner math thing, but it just...
That's pretty good,
So
actually.
you're on vacation, Mike. Don't worry about math right now. You got time. So yeah. All right.
All right.
As always.
Next up is a potential show stealer, and I mean that everything within me. This could absolutely just run away with the show. The IWGP Women's Championship, held by Mayu Iwatani, who's had that damn thing. How many days she had that at this point?
Forever.
Yeah, seriously. Defending against AZM, who I like a lot of everyone knows that after Marigold became a thing, a lot of people thought Stardom would go through a really bad shuffling and kind of lose its edge, and I feel like they just to prove a point, they got it back even better. So, and Mayu's held the belt for 620 days, by the way.
Yeah.
You think she is Athena?
Just trying.
Oh. I want that match so bad.
Well, that's why I'm picking Mayu Iwatani. I think it might eventually be what they're gonna do. Is maybe at Forbidden Door, Mayu Iwatani versus Athena. Can you imagine?
Title for title?
6 to midnight, baby.
I mean, shit. Forbidden Door would be crazy. Hell,
That
he would
would
do it
be
all
crazy.
in. You know? So yeah, that's why I'm going with Mayu Iwatani. So
Okay, Mike, who you going with?
Yeah, Mayu Iwatani. I
Yeah.
don't know. Sure.
It's a sweep. I'm going to Iwatani as well because
Okay.
I as much as I feel like Azium would kill it as champion, I don't feel like Mayu is going to lose that anytime soon. She's remember New Genesis. Starlight Kid's the leader of that group. Okay, sorry. There are a whole bunch of new factions. They actually formed a group called Hate in Stardom. Like literally, that's their name is Hate. And now and they just won the world. And the leader is she's won the world title. I think like 3 days ago. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, Stardom is still killing it right now. So anyone who can still check it out, still please do so. All right, World TV Championship. Ren Narita defending against Jeff Cobb, against Ryohei Oiwa, and against the returning El Phantasmo, who was out for a while. I want to start with Mike because I was going to automatically guess where he's going. So, Mike, go ahead.
Well, you know how I talk about El Phantasmo on the show all the time.
Of course, naturally.
So,
But who else did you think I was talking about?
do it, you cowards. Put the TV title on Jeff Cobb so he can take the belt on a tour of the islands. Yes, Jeff Cobb, of course.
Okay. Honestly, I because it's another multi-man match in New Japan, and I can't believe they did this to us twice in one night, and I'm very angry about it.
yeah,
TNA?
I was about to say
Yeah.
that.
I'm very angry about it.
Actually, four is not enough. If it was TNA, they'd be like 6 or 8 or something. So.
No, they
Yeah.
put okay, like
12-man Ultimate X.
Yeah.
so I'll put it this way: if they had put 2 more New Japan junior heavyweight tag teams in that ladder match, I wasn't gonna pick out of principle. I was like, no, I refuse to do this. Screw you, New Japan. You're not gonna ruin my mental health by the fact you're trying to pick this match. Screw you. I'm not doing it. I refuse. But honestly, I'm with Mike on this. I want to see Jeff Cobb walk away with this, so I'm gonna go ahead and pick Jeff Cobb. So JC, who you got?
Jeff Cobb, please, dear
Okay.
God. I know most people are like, oh, Phantasm is returning. Give me fucking Jeff Cobb. Like,
I feel like that's the swerve of this. I feel like specifically because he's returning, he's not gonna win.
No, he's not in this match.
Yeah.
He's not.
I like how you did that. Nice.
Yeah, that was good. Moving on, lumberjack match, which has some implications that are kind of in real life anyway. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Evil. If Tanahashi loses, he must retire from in-ring competition. But that's almost a moot point because Tanahashi's already gone on record saying this is his last year as a wrestler anyway. And for those of you who don't know, he is the current president of New Japan Pro Wrestling. So, and that's actually not as uncommon in Japan as people might think, because what's his name is the president of Noah. Anyway,
It's weird how that works. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, mhm.
I'll go first. I'm picking Tanahashi because I feel like it's so obviously it should be evil, and I'm thinking it's so obvious it should not be evil who has his last match. And honestly, I'm also picking it for another reason. Someone said this, and I'm holding out hope for a hero. Like someone said, it's both their last years. You cowards, work it out. Give us John Cena versus Tanahashi. And I said, yes, I want that to happen. Give me John Cena and Tanahashi. So I'm picking Tanahashi because I can cross my fingers and pray to the Lord that just for one night, everyone gets over their differences and we get the ace versus the ace. So I'm going Tanahashi.
Did you just call Cena the ace?
He was. Whether you like him or not, that's what he was. The ace is also defined by the guy who brings in the most money and wrestles the most matches in a company. John Cena was the ace. You can hate him all you want. He legitimately was the ace. Whether you liked him or not at that point was irrelevant. A lot of people didn't like Tanahashi for the longest time because he was winning every single match. It was a sigh of relief when Okada finally beat him. So,
I mean, it would make the most sense, especially with them both announcing this is their last year.
Yeah.
God, just where would you book that? You know,
you brought up a lot of legitimate points, but you're still wrong.
Okay, go ahead, Mike.
Sure, Tanahashi. I mean, you can't say this is your last year of wrestling and then the first match of the year.
I know.
Like, well, if I lose, this is it. Like,
can you imagine that? Ric Flair, this is the last time. If I lose, I'm done. Brooklyn Brawler, all right, I'm done. So, like, come on.
It would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
I also love that you just compared Evil to Brooklyn Brawler.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not.
Yeah, we all know Brooklyn.
I'm just like, but yeah, this is last year, first event. That would suck, right? So, yeah. Yeah.
What's up, Bernsey?
As well. What's up, Bernsey?
You want me to be real controversial?
Go for it.
John Cena is like the best player on a bad team. Someone has to score all the points. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I just like messing with Cena fans. Sorry.
Was that controversial though? Okay.
Oh, you believe it?
Yeah.
Next up is another show stealer of a match that, like, I legitimately am. Since they announced it, I have just not known which way to go.
JC, why did you try to make a choice for us?
I mean,
it says Sendo Takagi never.
Oh,
like maybe I want to pick him. I don't know.
Okay,
was a good joke.
That was a good joke. Yes, I know.
That was a good joke.
Because I couldn't put Openweight International without it going to the second line. I was trying to keep it on one line for space reasons. But yeah.
Oh, that was a good joke.
Sorry.
Yeah.
So the Never Openweight Championship.
What the fuck did I do?
In the AEW International Championship, winner takes all match. Shingo Takagi, the Never Openweight Champion. Sorry, that joke was right there. Versus Nosuke Takeshita, who's the AEW International Championship. Woo!
Look, come on, say it, Takeshita.
Okay, Jason.
They have been building this guy up.
Told you.
Yeah, never taking that guy. No, they have been building this guy up for so long, and nothing against Takagi, but I feel like they're going to start working Takeshita to be doing a lot of back and forth between the U.S., Japan, everything like that. And I mean, hell, he just first of all, Powerhouse Hobbs had a hell of a banger match with him at World's End. From the clips I've seen, it was amazing. So, but I think they're really pushing Takeshita to be like the next big thing coming out of both countries. So. Yeah. We're working both promotions, so I'm thinking Takeshi's going to get this winner take all one. So,
all right, Mike, what about you?
Yeah, same thing for most of the same reasons. I mean, that'd be kind of crazy. Well, AEW has had some missteps at times, so I really hope this isn't one of them. But so I hope it's Takeshita.
It's a clean sweep because I would say the same thing. For me, I'm picking Takeshita because everyone was saying. For like before he won the international belt for like the last year or so, like push Takeshita, and I was like, and my immediate response to everyone was like, "Will y'all freaking wait? God, let them build him up." It's like, can y'all give them 10 minutes to build the guy up and let it mean something when he finally does, and then let him go on a tear like he's doing now. It's like, yeah, I knew sooner or later he was going to get this run. It was inevitable. He was killing it in every match, and then when they turned him heel,
inevitable.
Exactly. They gave him the Infinity Gems of beating people.
Yep.
So I feel like Shingo, he's got nothing left to prove. He was one of the guys who held it down for New Japan during the pandemic era, when everyone was like, will New Japan even survive this? He was the guy pretty much saying, I will drag this company forward if I have to by its toes to make sure we stay alive, and he did. He was one of the guys. Guys like him, Zack Sabre Jr., and a few others were the reasons New Japan survived that era when they couldn't have any fans, where the fans couldn't chant. Their matches were the reason they survived. So Shingo's got nothing left to prove. He held it down, and honestly, I think he should be the one who challenges Zack Sabre Jr. somewhere down the line for the world title again. So I'm going to Takeshita as well, and it would be cool to see him with 2 belts and defending it back and forth, because I feel like he's also one of the guys who's really good to keep bridging that gap between the American and Japanese fans, because he's beloved by everyone. So Takeshita. Okay, IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, Doki versus defending against El Desperado. For a lot of Texas fans who may remember this a few years back, Doki was actually in Texas for a good while. He wrestled at Branded Outlaw quite a bit, like at least 3 or 4 times during his international training stuff. So super proud of him to be in this position. That being said, I'm going El Desperado.
Okay.
But I also feel like that I'll be wrong, which I feel like will be hilarious. But I feel like it'll be El Desperado because Desperado has been really good at making Wrestle Kingdom the night he proves why he should have been like Junior Heavyweight Champion almost from the start. Well, maybe not, because I feel like all the years he got passed over really pushed him to get better. And then we got like the time where his mask tore and he was bleeding and he didn't care. He kind of like ripped the rest of the mask off and won the match anyway. So I'm going El Desperado, but I feel like this is going to be another sleeper hit of a match. So, JC, what about you?
I feel like these guys wrestled recently. I'm trying to remember.
I can't. You might have been right. Hold on.
Let's see. I'm trying to look up. Like, I feel like they have recently. No, maybe I'm not. But I think a lot of people are expecting Desperado to win, which is why I think Doki might win this one.
Oh yeah, you know what? You're right. They did wrestle recently, and that's why Doki's champion in the first place, because the Desperado's the last guy he beat to win.
Oh, okay. So,
yeah, you're right.
Yeah, everyone expects like the rematch. I'm actually gonna stick with Doki to retain this one. So
okay.
Yeah, and just kind of just surprise some people. So.
Wow, that was only back in July. I didn't even realize he was holding it that long.
Yeah.
He was beating a who's who of the junior heavyweight division. Okay, good on you, Doki. I'm still sticking with what I said, but anyway, Mike.
I'm gonna go with Doki.
Okay,
I got to stick with some champs to retain at some point. So
lone wolf.
Yeah.
Cool.
No, JC said it also.
That's right. No. But
I
said this part. Yeah.
You are right.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Next up, IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. David Finlay defending against Yota Tsuji. I kind of want to go first again because I'm picking Tsuji, because I feel like everyone was saying he was the guy who should have won the world title in the first place from Naito when he won it. And I kind of agreed, but then after seeing Sabre win it, I was like, okay, never mind. We were right to have Naito win, so Sabre could beat him for it. But I think Yota Tsuji, because I feel like he's one of the next big guys that they're going to bring up, and I wouldn't be surprised at all if he main events Wrestle Kingdom next year. Mike, who you got?
American fans say that there's too many title belts in our companies, and I'm looking at like all the matches here that are they're all mostly IWGP, and then the one New Japan TV title. David Finlay.
Okay. No, I was gonna let you keep going. I was like, "Where's he going?"
I'm not really sure what point I had to that. I was just like, "There's a lot of belts here."
There are,
and I know it's the International Wrestling Grand Prix, and then the company's New Japan. They're just like, "But we got a TV title."
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons of how that works, and I don't know if I want to go into it. I could explain it, but I don't know.
You need a Netflix documentary probably to explain everything, I'm sure. So
yeah. I should.
Um,
If they ever do that, I should host it.
I'm kind of going with the underdog on this one because I think like David Finley's coming this one in the underdog because Yota Tsuji beat Finley in the G1 Climax this year, right? In the
Yep.
playoff stage. And so I feel like Finley really got something to prove with this, and that's why I'm sticking with Finley to get this one.
Fair enough.
This bit of a rematch. I think, everyone's expecting Yota Tsuji. Oh, well, he beat him already. He's going to beat him again. But I think Finley's going to come in as the underdog and end up winning this one, retain. So
That's probably why I'm picking him to win it because I feel like
Yeah.
he beat him once, he can do it again.
Yeah.
So, cool. So moving on to the semi-main event of the evening, it's Lij versus Lij with Tetsuya Naito versus Hiromu Takahashi.
yeah.
Yeah. JC, who you got?
Hey Siri, flip a coin.
Tails.
Tails. Takahashi. Match is gonna be a banger. You can't go wrong.
Oh yeah,
with
that's
either one,
that's the
it's
crazy
hard.
thing. It's gonna be amazing. But
What's
yeah,
the time limit on this one? So
probably 20 minutes.
Okay.
Usually not until
2025.
Don't be surprised if it's a draw, but
wouldn't
I'll
either,
take
actually.
Takahashi for that reason. So
Fair.
yeah.
Mike, who you got?
I'm gonna go with Naito.
Okay.
I have no idea why.
Fair enough. I'm going with Takahashi, and the reason is I feel like this might be the beginning of him graduating to the heavyweight division, kind of like what happened with Kota Ibushi before. And actually Naito too. Naito, I think a lot of people forget, he was junior heavyweight for a while until he graduated up until the heavyweight division. And I feel like Takahashi's got nothing left to prove in the junior heavyweight division. He's been that ace of that for the longest time. And I feel like he could be another contender somewhere down the line. So, and I feel, and also to be perfectly honest, I think Naito's getting close to his own retirement. I think, especially after he main evented Wrestle Kingdom the last couple years, finally getting to do the Wrestle Kingdom, the New Japan, the Lij roll call. That dang it, I called it three different things that it was not. Getting to the Lij roll call finally, and I feel like he's he's done everything he wanted to do. So I'm going with Takahashi. And in the main event, that, depending on who you ask, is either a stroke of genius or the worst idea New Japan's ever had. It really depends on who you ask. You have Zack Sabre Jr., the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, defending against Shota Umino. And the reason why you have such a split decision of that is because, Zack Sabre Jr. already won the belt way beforehand, and they say, oh, the only challenge they come up with Shota Umino, or B, you could be the opinion of this is fresh, it's new, and both guys will kill it because they'll prove they deserve to be there. It's also the first time in 10 plus years that neither Okada, Tanahashi, or Naito have been in the main event of Wrestle Kingdom.
That's why I love it. Something fresh, something new.
That's why I love it.
Yeah.
Like I feel like they're not going to disappoint. I feel like everyone's worried that this is going to disappoint. And I was like, first of all, Zack Sabre Jr. does not disappoint, never has. And Shota Umino has been gunning for a shot like this his entire career. Everything he's ever done in his career has been to get to a shot like this. So he's not gonna blow it now. I firmly believe that he's not gonna blow it now. Mm-hmm. So
is this like the Cena Miz of New Japan of Wrestle Kingdom?
Not quite.
Or is this the Shawn Diesel, the first one that didn't have like Hogan? No, that was 10 Hogan. Yeah.
Well, actually, what, Mike? I take it back. I think you're right. It is kind of viewed as the Cena Miz, only because they feel like Shota is a subpar opponent, and they feel like people feel like it's beneath Zack Sabre Jr. That's how they kind of feel. That's kind of how they feel.
Especially with Wrestle Dream coming afterwards and the involvement of AEW, do you see the Death Riders getting involved at all on behalf of Umino?
I do after the match is over. I honestly don't feel like they'll interfere in the match. Honestly, I feel like New Japan Wrestle Kingdom main event matches have a history of that being a possibility, but like everyone respecting the main event enough to not interfere. Now, after the match, it's fair game, because I remember that year Naito was trying to do the Lij roll call, and Kenta came out and beat the crap out of him, so he couldn't end the show, and everyone went home sad. So So after the match is fair game, but during the match, I don't think so. Unless they just like show up at ringside or on commentary or something, and I can see that happening. So, that being said, I'm going Zack Sabre Jr. Mike, what about you?
Same. I would only think Umino maybe if Moxley interfered during the match, but
If it wasn't Wrestle Kingdom, I would say I would agree. Like if it
Yeah.
was like literally any other main big show they had and they were the main event, I would say yes. But because it's Wrestle Kingdom, I'm going to say that they're not going to interfere.
well, I'll defer to your thinking. So yes,
I
Zack
will-
Sabre Jr.
I'm going to laugh if I'm wrong. JC, what about you?
I will say if Amino wins, we will see the Death Riders attack because then Amino's going to probably put that title on the line against Claudio at Wrestle Dynasty. And they might be involved with trying to get that championship onto Claudio. But I don't see it coming off Zack Sabre Jr. because deep down, especially with what we just saw with Ricochet tonight, give me Zack Sabre Jr. and Ricochet potentially for that championship at Wrestle Dynasty if they put that on the line. And I'm not saying Ricochet would win, but I would love to see that with some little extra interest on that. Let's be a good enough match as it is. But
Fair enough.
But I'm gonna go with Zack Sabre Jr. But if Amino wins, don't be surprised if we get an appearance from Moxley and the Death Riders. And then
Wait, so what's the Wrestle Dynasty match? I haven't even seen the card. I have no idea.
Shota Umino versus Claudio Castagnoli.
Wait, so
Yeah.
Claudio can I change my pick to Umino just to get this title to Claudio eventually?
I mean,
I didn't know what was on.
That's the next night. Yeah, or is the next night or the 6th, right?
It's the very next night.
The very next night.
But I haven't-
Claudio was wrestling.
I
Shota
haven't
Umino.
seen the card. I watched most of Dynamite. I don't remember them showing the card.
Yeah,
We're talking about it. All right.
yeah. So I mean, if you want to change it to Amino and potentially get that, yeah.
No, I'll just even though we're not officially picking, I'll just pick Claudio in the Wrestle Dynasty.
Well,
We'll do that.
I'll put it this way, Mike.
Yeah.
New Japan does have a history of, like, let's say if a contender even if a contender loses, if you beat the contender, the person who beat them does have a history of getting a shot later. So even if Umino loses at Wrestle Kingdom, if Claudio beats him, that could get him in line because he still beat the guy who was the number 2.
So is Shota not on the same page with Moxley? I thought he had been. I haven't really paid attention.
No, they are. But I feel like this is the beginning of that being a problem. That's what last time you saw them together, he was on the same page with them. So
Okay.
I think it's a case of they have no control of the booking.
Yeah.
So those are our picks for Wrestle Kingdom. How can you watch it? It is going to be exclusively on New Japan World, which I have had since almost it started.
Since before WWE Network, right? So
yeah, because New Japan can't have anything unless WWE starts copying them. Anyway, it starts Saturday, January 4th, 2 a.m. Central Time, live from the Tokyo Dome in Tokyo, Japan. And Mike, our friend Emily's already there.
Oh, nice.
And I just commented jealous.
What time is the pre-show? Like an hour before or something?
Yeah, an hour. So about 1. Yeah.
So the New Japan Rambo will be about 1 o'clock.
About 1-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
1-ish.
Do you want to go over? Just run through Wrestle Dynasty real quick. I got it in front of me.
Yeah, I got the card too. So go for it. I'm just gonna watch Mike's reaction because some of these matches are fucking insane.
Okay.
So yeah.
For starters, for the International Women's Cup, it's a Fatal 4-Way match. It's Willow Nightingale, Persephone from CMLL, Athena from ROH, and Momo Watanabe from Stardom. Which, by the way, could be the main event of the damn show, and I would have been okay. So
and they have it on the pre-show. Seriously? Yeah, I know. So yeah.
It is on the pre-show, which is weird. The Sons of Texas, Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara, are defending the ROH World Tag titles against the House of Torture, which is Sho and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. Zack Sabre Jr. versus Ricochet. It hasn't been said whether or not this is a title match yet. I think this all depends.
They're waiting to see what happens. Yeah. So.
And either Takeshita or Takagi will fight Tomohiro Ishii for the Never Openweight and AEW International belts. So whoever wins their match defends against Tomohiro Ishii the very next night. That's one hell of a first title defense after immediately having the match.
After they're gonna beat the shit out of each other the night before.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Next night we got Ishii.
Hey guys, you're gonna beat the shit out of each other. Awesome. You have to fight Ishii.
Well, it depends on who's booking because as big of a deal as AEW's made Ishii coming in a lot, he never wins.
Same with Suzuki.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's more. I feel like both him and Suzuki are in there. We're old now. We don't need another.
Yeah, I
belt.
kind of get that, but like I feel like you still should have given them a couple wins here and there more often.
I feel like they're there for the look at how hard they hit factor.
Oh yeah, no, obviously.
But you got. I see your point for sure.
But I think after amount of time, even the hardcore AEW fans are like, "Oh, Ishii's there. Like he'll probably lose." But just me.
It happens. Next up is Yota Tsuji versus Jack Perry. In a match I have vested interest in, Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd. Because of the amount of shit Gabe Kidd talks all the time, I can't wait for this. As we already mentioned, Shota Umino versus Claudio. David Finlay versus Brody King, because Brody King is getting props like all over the place lately, which I'm happy to see. This one's very interesting. It's the Young Bucks versus Great O'Khan and to be announced for the IWGP tag titles. It was originally Great O'Khan and I just forgot his name.
See if it's on here.
It's not Jeff Cobb.
Jeez, why did I forget his name? Because I was actually going to talk.
What if it is Jeff Cobb? That's a good thought. You know, I mean, hell.
Hanare. It was Hanare.
Hanare. Okay.
Yeah, because
no, I don't want to see the Bucks beat Jeff Cobb.
I mean, but it's for the IWGP heavyweight tag belts, and the reason I wish Hanare was still there is because it came out recently that Hanare was offered a contract by WWE a couple of years ago. He turned it down to stay with New Japan. He actually turned their offer down because he wanted to stay in New Japan, and by his own words, he wanted to stay, keep learning, and he wanted to keep wrestling the best. So it's sad that his injury happened because it really sucks. He's really been putting in the work to get better and better. It's happy for him.
But look at this long list of how well WWE has used Japanese wrestlers.
Oh yeah, so
I lost the list.
Damn it, Mike! I told you to have the list ready before we came on. Man, it's like I can't believe your dog ate that.
Yeah.
Anyway.
It wasn't a very big meal though. So.
Fair enough. Yeah. He's still hungry. And I think we also mentioned this. It's a winner-take-all match. Mercedes Moné with defending the Strong Championship against Mina Shirakawa for the Undisputed British Women's Championship. Winner-take-all. And an 8-man Lucha Gauntlet match for New Japan wrestlers, for CMLL wrestlers. Why can't I talk? And
a lot
those
of acronyms.
Yeah, seriously. And those wrestlers to be announced either at Wrestle Kingdom or the night of Wrestle Dynasty. We'll see. Don't have the times of when everything starts on that, unfortunately, in front of me. But I'm assuming it's going to be through the New Japan.
That's not the Dome, is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It is okay.
The Dome is still at the Dome. Yeah, it's going to be a solid weekend of wrestling for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Now that I think about it, the only match I remember them talking about regularly is the Women's World Cup 4-way, because they were having the matches to.
They were having some qualifying matches on AEW TV, right? Yeah. So
yeah,
I don't remember them talking about a lot of the other, unless they were doing it during some of the wrestlers' matches, and maybe I was listening. I don't know.
It's probably they're probably doing a lot during it.
Or they were doing all the promoting on ROH. So.
Damn.
Look.
Wow.
There's a lot of great things in ROH that no one gets to see because no one watches ROH. It sucks. Hopefully, with the new Max deal, and there were talks of bringing ROH to maybe a channel.
I did hear that's one reason why Jericho is still champion.
Yeah,
that helps make it more appealing.
Oh yeah, also Chris Jericho is their champion, so there's that.
Yeah. Well, Tommy, good job hosting that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
5 stars in the Tokyo Dome.
5 stars.
oh, before we move on, there was somebody complaining about that, because every time someone complains about Meltzer's rating system, I said, just make up your own. Just make up your own. Just make up your own. Oh my God, if you don't like the matches, stop complaining about his. Just make up your own.
Stars even can be jalapenos or avocados or something.
I've constantly thought about us like ranking our own matches and just putting them out there. That way, some of the internet can have something else to complain about. Because honestly, that's what this comes down to. I just want internet to have something else to complain about.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna do it in big red ounces, like an 8 ounces crap, like a 12 ounces. All right.
Let me tell you, that's hilarious, and I really want you to do that.
Oh my God, that was a big gulp, big red. Give me the small child size from Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
Oh, it's as big as a small child.
I love that idea, and I hope you do it for real.
All right. Let's then get into our 2024 Countdown City WrestleCast Year End Awards, guys. Crazy that another year's passed by. There is so much that happened this year, and it was crazy trying to like put together who I think would be worthy of these awards. I'm looking back like, oh my god, that happened this year. That happened this year. Like, right?
I
So,
also want to point out that no one technically answered my question
which is
of if it are we just including everything together, including locals and mainstream, or
you know what?
I,
I'm leaving that completely open to you with this. And like, there's no like formal award ceremony. We're not handing out physical hardware. If you want to come out and say, well,
why did
here's
I
my
spend all that? No, I'm just kidding.
if you want to come out and say, here's who I think would be local mail, who's who I think would be over like in TV, whatever. I'm completely leaving that open to you if you
Okay.
want to do that. So, and sorry, it's been nuts. So, um,
No, I just
but we're gonna hand out some awards for male wrestler of the year, female wrestler of the year, tag team promotion, match of the year, pay-per-view event of the year. We'll have the Tez Award at the end, and then in between that, we'll have our own special awards that we just come up with sometimes on the fly. What we're awarding for the year itself as well. So,
yep.
um, male wrestler of the year. Mine is Cody Rhodes. Plain and simple. This is the guy that, yes, to finish the story from last year's from the 2023 WrestleMania to 2024 WrestleMania, and he's held the championship between since then. Still irrelevant, still defending it. Um, it's got to be Cody Rhodes for me. That's been the biggest story in wrestling all year to me personally. So, Tommy,
Honestly, I'm giving it to Shane Strickland
okay,
because for a dude who probably was not expected to have the year he had, I almost said something I shouldn't say. That dude. It's a black people word that only I can say. That
okay,
dude had a killer year from like pretty much like him saying he'd be world champion. Like, well, everyone says that, and then him like get like putting in the works, like everyone thinking, wow, maybe he really should be, and then having a killer title run, and then even after it was over, still being involved in crazy good storylines afterwards. The Hangman Page stuff. Hats off to him. He they gave him the ball, and he absolutely ran with it. So I'm going Shane Strickland, 100%.
okay. And by the way, if you want to type in what your picks are for each of these categories, please definitely do that as well. Mike, what about you?
well, I'm going to go ahead and give my local Male of the Year award first, and that is definitely to Casey Black Rose.
Oh damn, I was going to say that same thing. My bad. Sorry, yeah.
Who had a hell of a year, ended the year with 3 title belts. Kind of started the year in a tag team. Really got going on the singles. Right around March when they had the interview in the RCW ring with Brandon Oliver, calling him a B+ player, getting the title match against Bo, and then really kind of kicking off the rest of his year there.
Yeah.
So for the local kind of the shows we go to, that's the award, and for me, it's not close. For the mainstream, I'll call it. Tommy gave it to Shane Strickland. I'm going to give mine to Swerve Strickland, just because that's another name he uses.
You know what? And every time I do that, I never catch it. And you know why? It's all that time he spent in Wrestle Circus, and I can't not call him Shane. Like I know his name is Swerve Strickland, but I keep saying Shane because that's just like how I met him.
But it's because I literally wrote Swerve down, and then you said that, and I was like, oh wait, that's also my pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, a lot of the same things he said, and I guess for me, like, yeah, I get that Cody Rhodes' story was the biggest story and thing, but like those matches, especially the WrestleMania one, was so produced, and there was so much, all of it to it. And like, Cody is a good wrestler, but like if you're talking about the match by the person themselves and not all the hoopla around it, like Swerve was killing it. I give honorable mentions to Bryan Danielson and Ospreay, because they were also killing it. But I think overall, Swerve just had a hell of a year, and his stories and his Hangman stuff coming back to that was fun. So yeah.
Okay. Female wrestler of the year. I'm just gonna go the same order. I can go first again if
Okay.
you want.
You're the host, dude.
Mine is Roxanne Perez. With some of the challenges she had, especially with like Jordan Grace, obviously sticks out. For some of the just amazing matches she's pulled in. She's held this championship for over a year now, entire
It's
year.
gotta be. It's
Yeah.
gotta be well over a year now.
Let me see where the title reign is sitting right now. Where are you? Um, let's see here. This title reign is 266 days actually.
Really?
So not even a full year.
Why does it feel like she's held so much longer than that?
Officially got it at Stand and Deliver April 6th. But
I could have swore she wore that thing like back in January of last year.
No, I think she's still recovering, came back in, new attitude, new persona.
Okay.
And Jordan Grace shows up, and it's like all the talk, like, holy shit, like Jordan Grace is gonna beat her, Jordan's gonna beat her. And then, that was the big thing, and then she's just continued to dominate to hold this championship. And yes, she was crowned ESPN's Female Wrestler of the Year, by the way.
Co.
Oh, who was the other one? I'm trying to remember.
My pick.
Oh, your pick. What is your pick, Mike? Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you were done or not.
Yeah, go for it.
If I remember correctly, she would co-on it with Timeless Tony Storm.
She did.
Oh yeah.
Who is my pick? And because I was going to say it was going to be hard because I didn't want to do a Sports Illustrated, because I feel like both of them are super deserving. I just felt with Tony Storm, she found something that really rejuvenated her. Kind of really rejuvenated the women's scene in AEW. Roxanne held it down, and I can't even say you were wrong because it's an amazing pick.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Sports Illustrated picked them both. But I'm going to give it to Tony Storm on my side, and then
locally.
Yeah,
I think I know where you're going with this. I just want to see if you have to say it.
Stepping back from all personal feelings, in the local scene, there is one person who has been super consistent, has been at so many shows, won a title, won 2 titles, and I hate to say it, and she's probably going to clip this and play it over and over.
Oh yeah.
I think it has to be Callie.
Mike, you're dead to me.
Mm-hmm.
I understand.
You're dead to me.
But I have to be a professional journalist and put all those personal feelings aside.
We're on a podcast.
I didn't spend
Ain't nobody paying us for this shit.
I didn't spend all those years at professional wrestling journalism school to
God, I think all 3 of us would have gone.
By professional wrestling journalism, he means subscription to WWE magazine. But yes, I digress. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously, I have some honorable mentions, like Denise Day. Had a really good year. Just wish to see her in a few more places more often. Izzy had a solid beginning of the year, but kind of after Mission Pro shut down, she her didn't quite show up as often to shows and stuff.
But she's everywhere else, it seems, right? I mean, she's getting her name out there.
No. She had some big shows. I feel like locally, as much as we don't like her, she's the most consistent. Speaking of our local male wrestler of the year, Casey Blackrose is in the chat.
Hey, Casey.
There you go.
Yes. I don't know if you saw that, but yeah, we got you as our in the San Antonio area male wrestler of the year. Congratulations, Casey. We don't have any hardware. We don't have the budget, inflation, all that shit.
I'll make a sign for the 11th.
We're also broke.
Also, yeah. The cost of healthcare benefits are going up. So yeah, that's the way it is. Tommy.
Okay, because Mike's wrong. Also, I have a hard time also kind of defining what locally means, because since I drive around so much for wrestling, I kind of take into account everywhere I go. So
that's fair.
So for nationally for women, it's got to be Toni Storm for me. Like legit, it has to be, because she almost became. Well, she did become like a meme in and of itself, and she knew it, and she owned it, and just ran with that. So happy New Year, Casey. For me locally, I kind of have a tie and I'm trying to decide who I'm trying to pick because my tie is between Alejandra and Chanel.
Okay.
And I'm kind of leaning towards Alejandra because I feel like she was killing it just a little bit more this year than Roche was, but not to say that Roche wasn't killing it all year as well. So, but like honestly, for me, it's a tie between Alejandra and I don't want to mess up saying her last name. That's why I keep saying just her first name and Roche Chanel. But gun to my head, if I had to thank you. Like I would screw it up, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. She was definitely up there for me too. If she hadn't left me, I mean, if she hadn't gone home for a month and a half, that's the only thing that I don't know why you're laughing. She went home for a couple of months, left me. I mean, she just had to go take care of some stuff.
I mean, I want Callie to go away for a couple of months, years, decades.
Look, when she debuted in California, I said Cali and Cali, perfect. Stay in Cali. Don't come back.
But she came back.
I know.
Yeah.
She does have 2 belts.
Just real. She has
both of them are taller than her when you put them sideways, but
wow.
Just saying.
All right, moving on. Tag team of the year. And I'm going to expand this to say it can be a 2-man tag team or a 3-man tag team. I think 6-man tag matches have really opened up. I'm not saying I'm picking a 3-man tag team because I don't fucking know who I'm picking for this category. So I'm going to go to you guys to first. Who wants to present their pick first?
I'll go. Mm-hmm. Ted, just real quick on that, definitely honorable mention. Her momentum has kind of been second half of the year, unfortunately.
Yeah.
She got, but definitely someone they're using, and I think 2025 could easily be her year. On the mainstream, I'm going to go with Fraxium because I feel like in WWE, both Raw, SmackDown, NXT, they were legitimately the only tag team that was consistent throughout the entire year. There were versions of Chase U in NXT. Mm-hmm. There were what's his name? Tony's family, the Mafia guys who kind of had, I think, won the belts briefly, but they kind of came and go, and then they weren't doing tag matches for a while. On the main roster, I don't even know who was tag team champs half the time, to be honest with you. I feel like Fraxium was just the most consistent team, even though they were teasing a breakup since March. Since before WrestleMania.
You're so right, though.
Right?
You're so right.
Are they a team or not? We don't even know.
Yeah, but they just kept coming back together and winning the title. I know they lost them for a while. They came back and won them again. And I just feel like they've been the most consistent over the year. Locally, I'm going to be a little biased, I guess. I'm going to go for the Von Erichs because that was super cool seeing them in RCW. They won the belts. Yeah. Overkill was a honorable mention there. Flocking Brawlers because they kind of, obviously kind of stopped teaming as often a little bit before midway through the year. But yeah, so Von Erichs for me locally, Fraxium mainstream.
Okay. Tommy?
For me, mainstream, the part of this is contrarianism, and also because one half of the team is currently injured, and I want to send all positive props to him, is ABC of Chris Bay and Ace Austin. So, part of it's just because I want to be different, a little bit different, but also legitimately they are a fantastic tag team. And Chris Bay, I know he's injured. Don't know how long he'll be out, but hopefully, whenever he can come back, I know he's going to kill it. Can't wait for that. But come back safely. Mm-hmm. I've always felt like I want to say that, come back when it's right. Come back when you're healthy, and do not rush anything, because wrestling will be here when you get back. It's okay. The fans can wait. So your health, on the other hand, cannot. Locally, I'm also going with the Von Erichs because, my runners-up were also Overkill, Pillars of Destiny, and the Texas River City Kingdom because those teams legitimately became the highlight of every RCW show whenever they were wrestling.
Shoot, Tommy, someone's gonna yell at us again.
Who?
Neither of us said living in fashion.
Well, but you know what? Zakai don't like me no kind of way. So you know what?
Mm.
But you know what? But living in fashion is definitely up there too. But but only Devin likes me. So I tend
That's
to
fair.
stay mad at Zakai. Oh, so he has a thing now when he's heel. Zakai
Which
does.
one?
I mean,
Oh,
that he puts bags on people's faces. At NostalgiaCon, he walked towards me and I said, "You better not!" And before I could finish, a brown paper bag was over my face.
Yeah.
He said he had the design specific. He said it was a special order from Milan. I said that was aisle 18 at HEB. I know because I have to grab those. So
look at how many people ended the year giving you gifts.
Yeah.
Right, you got a Christmas present at the hybrid show. You got a bag from
Mike,
Zakai.
I already said you're dead to me. Don't make yourself deader.
Well, then how are you hearing the things I say?
Because I'm also a medium.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were ready for that comeback.
No, but can you at least be like the hot one like Jennifer Love Hewitt?
Dude, we both all never be that attractive. I don't care how much I work. I can work out for the rest of this year every day. I'll never be that good looking, but even the equivalent of that. So,
All right, that's fair.
all right, JC, we
All right.
stalled long enough.
Stalled long enough, thought long and hard about this, and thinking about this off, like, there's not really like a 2-man tag team that has stood out for me this year.
Okay.
I mean,
Okay.
maybe obviously the Young Bucks won a whole bunch of title defenses, but wasn't fancy. So I had to look at the 6-man tags, and there's one team that stands out, and they are the current never open weight 6-man tag team champions: Hiroshi Tanahashi, Oleg Boltin, and Toriano. And you
That's
can't
why-
argue with
that's
me.
why he
I
opened-
was gonna say. You know what's worse
Can't argue
about
with me on
that?
that because they've held those championships for more than half the time that championship has been around this year.
I was just gonna say that. I was like, you know what's worse about that? I can't disagree.
I
No.
should have known there was a reason he was sneaking in the 3-person team. I should have
Fair.
known.
But Mike, I gotta play devil's advocate. He's actually right. Every single time I thought they were gonna lose those belts, they kept them. So as much as I know he has personal bias in this, he's still technically not wrong.
Why Tanahashi's not retiring yet, buddy? It ain't happening yet.
I'm really disappointed all of us have brought personal bias into different choices. That's crazy.
Are you?
But
Are
I'm
you
not
really
wrong.
disappointed?
They're that good, So
No, I know.
We're not journalists, Mike. I already said that. But no, actually, JC, to be completely fair to you, you're not wrong at all. That they actually every match I thought they should have lost those, they didn't.
They're
So you're
holding on to
100%.
Ever since because it was vacated, they brought it in this year. They've won it. Didn't have it for like a week and have just been dominating ever since they got it back. So
You're not wrong.
can't go against that. So, all right, promotion of the year, and let me just flat out say it: WWE. A full-on resurgence under the Paul Levesque era, as they've called it, where this company has expanded to. All the PR nightmare that it has been dealing with Vince McMahon, and still trudging along, still making money, still been the talk of it, still putting out some amazing matches, promos, just letting everyone be free, talking as themselves. And it's got me pretty excited about what it's going to be like on Netflix. So I'm going to go with WWE as the promotion of the year. Who wants to go next?
Mike, did you want to? Or...
Sure. I'm going to agree with you. I mean, WWE, it hasn't been perfect. But it has been such a crazy improvement from what it had been in previous years under previous people running it or person running it who we'll never name. But yeah, it's a bit more entertaining. They open things up. He's opened to try new things, and they actually make things make sense from week to week and from old storylines that they bring back. Like, when they used to talk about the script for the show was ripped up 30 minutes before the show and everything was rewritten.
God,
and then the downside to that was so often there was like things that happened a week before, 2 weeks ago that then were pointless when they rewrote it for the 15th time. And there's a lot more consistency, and they're also not afraid to like bring up things outside from further back that kind of like I kind of like, even though I don't think it was ever the intention when they first did it, of how Seth turning on the Shield has like created this domino effect of where WWE is now with certain superstars. Like, obviously, I don't think when they made that decision to turn Seth and make him a solo star, like, oh, don't worry, in 10 years, this is all going to be like a great story that will have all these things. But they recognize it enough to go back and make it part of the storylines. And it's been running on all cylinders. And, we've also talked about AEW had some issues in the last year or two. They're obviously on a good track, and hopefully it just keeps growing because wrestling is awesome. And TNA is always consistent. I don't know if it quite did anything to like break it out of the pack, and not having Joe Hendry that first time I think hurt it, but we'll see.
Sorry.
I mean, that's again, WWE co-promoting has done nothing but help TNA in the long run, and NXT as well. So for sure.
Oh, and locally it's like a 4-way tie. I don't know if I can actually choose.
That's all good
because all the shows have been awesome.
Yeah, that does. And I don't know if I can pick locally because like one of mine would be the now defunct BOW, and that has personal bias all up and through that. So, well, technically, if I pick Mission Pro, actually, no, if I pick any of them, it's all got personal bias.
Yeah, you've done. Yes, those are all personal bias.
Because working for BOW, the commentary for Mission Pro, I was inducted to the RCW honors. That's just and I mean, more or less, don't we almost kind of work for United 210 because of the number of interviews we do for them? No, actually, can't believe I'm actually saying this, but I agree. It's WWE. They've been a lot better this year, the 2024, than they have been in a while. The Cody Rhodes thing is a major help, but I'm also taking into account their that I got to be honest, that freaking Backlash France show. Yeah, that had a lot to do with it, actually. So, yeah.
Well, speaking of, you mentioned Backlash France. Is that your? Well, we're not there yet.
Or not? Okay, I don't know if we were.
We'll go back to that.
Okay.
Match of the year.
Ooh.
And there's a lot to choose from. This is hard, right? So,
yeah. Well, actually, the pay-per-view of the year too is actually I don't know if it's Backlash for me yet. I'm not sure. I'm
okay.
That. So
yeah,
I'm actually sort of debating that in my head right now.
Yeah.
But okay.
Match of the year for me, Hell in a Cell, Drew McIntyre, CM Punk.
Fair.
That has just stuck out. This was the year where they stopped doing Hell in a Cell as a pay-per-view.
They got it with
Bad Blood, and it means so much more, and it meant so much. And that match opened the show at Bad Blood, and it was all people could really talk about that night. So, yeah, I'm going to say it is Punk and Drew McIntyre at Hell in a Cell. That match was just off the charts match of the year for me. Mike, are you still thinking about this one, or I know there's a lot to choose from?
I'm just trying to find the show, but I have the match of the year.
Okay.
I forget exactly which one it was on. Jason, nice little segue. It is Bryan Danielson, Ospreay.
Fair.
From I forget which pay-per-view it was. Maybe it was Wrestle Dream.
It was AEW Dynasty.
Dynasty. Okay, I was close.
Okay.
But yeah, like I remember when we finally got to see it. Just a hell of a match. Like, obviously a dream match when you think about it. And then, I know it's kind of the end of his regular time career, but Bryan Danielson was another one who could have easily been up for Wrestler of the Year, even though he didn't quite finish the full year out.
Yeah.
Just because every match he was having was just amazing. You knew he was coming towards the end. But the one with Ospreay, where he uses the Tiger Driver 91 and like the feigns the injury or whatever, winds up injuring him, and then it kind of sends Ospreay on a little crisis of conscience.
Yeah.
Was pretty interesting. So yeah.
Okay. Tommy, did you give your match of the year? I can't recall.
Not yet.
No, okay.
Mike, did you have one locally? I was actually kind of curious if you have one.
Oh, Jesus.
That's difficult. That is so hard.
That's hard.
Yeah.
There are so many.
I
will mention one. Hold on.
Okay. Go ahead. Let's see if it's the same one. There's only one that sticks out in my mind locally, but go ahead. So
I will mention one because of the fun, and that was the Izzy versus JP Harlow.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Street fight.
Yes.
mainly because I have pictures of JP Harlow in an HEB shopping cart and pictures of him tied around his legs around the corner with selfies taken with him.
Yeah.
Because he's frozen just screaming, and that's just like good old passion fun.
And I was about to, for the same reason, go the casket match, and I was like, "Oh crap, that wasn't even this year."
No.
So
that was far and away.
Shouts out though, the Black Swan. We miss you.
yes, we do.
That was far and away the best match locally this year, and I think damn near showed Izzy Moreno is going to be a star. Charisma, the way that match was handled, that was amazing. Yeah, so
we'll see what happens next this year.
Okay, my match of the year is Bryan Danielson, but it's actually versus Swerve from All In because because it's not just Jason Izzy and Tiffany and NPW. That was another solidly good match, and but it's more it's not just Danielson winning. When he hits the Busaiku knee and Swerve just like brushes it off, I was like, oh, are they actually not gonna let him win this? I legitimately was like, they're not gonna really do this now and send that entire crowd home pissed, are they? And so, but I really like how they kind of played that up, and also because I'm sorry, it really does prove to me Swerve's a company guy because he put his own ego aside to give Danielson that rub. So, but locally, recency bias might have a lot to do with this. It really might, but I can't get the final moments of this match out of my head. I'm sorry. To me, it's Epi and Fuego in the best 2 out of 3 at RCW. I can't get that match out of my head. Maybe it's recency bias have a lot to do with it, but how they ended that match, I legitimately thought Epi might be dead for like 2 seconds. So it was just so good. It was so good, and that was mine of the year. So.
Jason Izzy versus Tiffany at MPW.
Yeah, that was really good.
Ted Izzy versus Thunder. Also,
that was seriously
okay.
Hell of a match.
JC, after you give your pick, you didn't wait. Did you give your pick?
I did.
He gave it. Yeah.
Oh, Hell so right. Okay.
Yeah.
So now that we have all our picks, can we just take a minute and name all the local bangers we saw this year? We can just like scream them out.
That much time?
Yeah. It'll be 2026 by the time we get through all of it.
Because that was a great one. Jesse versus Casey.
Casey versus Casey.
Casey versus Epi. Speaking of recently,
Von Erichs winning the tag belts. That was
Von
super
Erichs. Good. Yeah. Casey versus Hit, just because of Apparacho Pro.
Where I got slapped. Yeah, thanks for bringing that back up.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it was the match itself, but just everything that went on there.
Jesse Funaki teaming with Ross Von Erich against Fly Def was
way
better than it had any right to be.
Yeah.
I forget what his new name is now, but Mystico was that hybrid. I forget who he wrestled.
You're right. Who did he wrestle?
Was it Don Juan?
I think so. Because what's Mystico's new name now? Damn it.
I forget. Yeah, it was Don Juan because Don Juan was trying to like unmask all the luchadors. So that was. Say what you want about the treats and Don Juan. That match was just amazing.
I'll say a lot about the treats and Don Juan.
Jason, that's another one. Casey versus Devin.
Yeah.
2 matches in the hybrid tournament and at RCW.
Yeah.
When he won the belt. I
feel like there's a
Denise and Still Angel at the time, I believe.
Denise Angel Blue
at
ended up in a no contest. Yeah.
Right, going through the chairs.
Yeah.
Really good.
Yeah, Mission Pro had a lot in there too. From earlier in the
Mission
year.
Pro comes back soon for sure.
Me too.
I do too.
Yep.
I feel like I'm missing like some I wanted to mention from BLW and I can't think of them right now.
Yeah, United. United had some.
Yeah, I know one. It was Brick Savage versus Chase Owens. That was really good because that one was more fun than anything because Chase had to keep adjusting his strategy because he couldn't really lift Brick up.
Oh, you know what? Speaking of recency bias, I don't know if I'm going to put this at the top of the list, but I do got to shout this out. Armani versus Crawley at the last hybrid show.
That was way better than it had any right to be.
Armani pulled out a lot of stuff. Could have won that match. That was actually very impressive. Chase actually had a lot of hybrid matches this year that were pretty impressive. Working with some of those guys.
Was him versus Animo this year?
I think so. And was it also
Because-
him and Jesse? Did we say that already?
No, I don't think we said that one because those two were really good too.
Yeah. So yes, local shows. Okay, more than a minute, but just tons of great shows have been going on. So
Okay.
keep it up, guys.
So from now on, we got to start making lists of the matches that happen at these
Yeah.
I'm
shows.
gonna have to start writing down what's the best show I saw at each pay per view I'll watch, and then just
Yeah.
go from there. That's
Yeah.
really what I'm gonna have to start doing.
Okay. So we're doing a pay-per-view event now. So
Yes, pay per view event of the year. Tommy, that was my question. Is Backlash France your pick for pay per view event of the year?
I don't think so. I think it's my number 3
Okay.
because I think my number 2 is WrestleMania 40, and I think my number 1 is really All In.
I'm trying to see how you had.
I think.
Yeah, you actually had All In based on your WrestleCast ratings.
Oh, what was my rating?
You had that as a 5.
I had it as a 5. Okay.
You had that as a 5. You had MPW Midsummer Blast as a 5, and you had MPW Sleepless in San Antonio and Wrestle Kingdom as your 5s on the year. So,
So locally, let me decide between Midsummer and Sleepless in San Antonio. Let me go check the results of those. Let me see which one I pick of those two. So hold on.
Yeah.
Go ahead. You guys go ahead.
Locally is MPW Midsummer Blast for me. That was the only 5 I gave all year to anything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that was the last MPW show for those that aren't aware.
Okay.
As far as overall mainstream, I had like a tie of a bunch of shows that had 4.75s. There was Backlash, there was NXT Heatwave, there was Slammiversary, SummerSlam, Bad Blood, and I've had to go back and I still can't figure out which one is the pay-per-view event of the year for me.
Fair.
All
but I
those
agree
are
with you
solid.
But real
Yeah.
quick, I agree with you about MPW Midsummer. I'm gonna go Midsummer Blast 2 as the best local show of the year.
Locally, that was my favorite. And it's nothing against any other promotion that was out.
No,
because it's hard for me to get out. So I mean, those are just the ones I attended. But as far as I take your pick, honestly, from the ones I mentioned there. That's hard to say.
It's
Yeah.
so hard to say.
It's difficult. So Mike, what about you?
For the mainstream one, I'm going to go AEW Revolution.
Ooh.
That one had Eddie Kingston finally defeating Bryan Danielson, which I believe is when he shook his hand afterward.
You're right. That's a good pick.
That had Blackpool Combat Club versus FTR, which was a hell of a match when they were still Blackpool Combat Club.
Yeah.
Tony Storm defeating Deonna Purrazzo, Ospreay defeating Takeshka in one of the first of their, I'm sure, will be many battles. That was Joe defeating Hangman and Strickland and Swerve.
Yeah,
in the triple threat.
That's right.
Where they were Swerve and Hangman were still trying to kill each other, and then of course there's the full bias coming in here, and that is the Sting, the Sting retirement match with Darby Allin against the Bucks. So, yeah, I'm gonna go with that one.
Okay,
Totally fair.
Midsummer Blash, and then locally, I think so too. I mean, that one's also hard because there were a lot. What do I have 5s for? If you don't mind,
you have 5s actually for 2 shows on the year.
which one?
Midsummer Blast and All In.
Huh?
And Revolution, I think we never rated because we didn't get to see it at the time we recapped it. But you probably went back and watched it later, and that's
yeah,
how
I
you
did.
Yeah, so
It was a 5.
yeah. So, but you had All In and Midsummer Blast as your only 5.
Yeah, Midsummer Blast was a hell of a show, man.
Yeah.
That was really good.
Really was.
Okay. Now it's our personal WrestleCast Awards, guys. And then this is and you can have some fun with this too. Like, this is kind of our made up awards. We just have some random name for it. There's no consistency from year. Maybe it is a year to year thing. Tommy's smiling like he has one already, so I'm just gonna let him go first.
I have 2.
You have 2, okay.
I'm gonna do the nice one first.
Okay.
It's my rookie / up and comer of the year award, and it's definitely going to Jesse Funaki because his first match was in May, and I would literally not be surprised if tomorrow we heard WWE signing him. I would not be shocked. I'd be like, "Yep, that tracks actually." But my second award, which is why I was smiling, is my Kendrick Lamar Hater of the Year award. And that something makes it go to Drew McIntyre 1,000%. The only reason, because I'm surprised there was so much hate from Drew. I'm surprised Kendrick didn't get him on GNX just to like do a verse on a song because that man had so much hate all year. So the Kendrick Lamar Hater of the Year award, Drew McIntyre won. I don't care if he lost the feud to Punk. That man had hate radiated off his entire being.
Wow. All right, Mike.
I've got a few, both mainstream and locally.
Okay.
I think I'll call my first one the Taking the Bullet Award, and that goes to Seth Rollins for his WrestleMania weekend performance, and specifically in the main event, coming back out in the Shield gear, tempting Roman Reigns, letting him hit him with the chair, just so we could end the story or finish the story. And kind of an MVP for the things he did this year, because he's kind of been running full bore for a couple years now when he's not injured. So I have that one. I also have the 3-day weekend from hell, and that award goes to Casey Blackrose for the weekend.
1,000%. I couldn't agree more.
For the weekend where he won the United 210 title against Angel Camacho on a Friday, defended the hybrid heavyweight championship against Ryan Davidson on a Saturday, and then went to war with Hit at Baracho Pro on Sunday. I hope he didn't go to work on Monday, because I don't know how he did not die. So,
or lose consciousness at random points during the day.
Yeah, no kidding. And then we definitely need to see even more in San Antonio award goes to Denise Day, because anytime we see Denise Day is the best.
Yeah.
So get your butt to San Antonio soon, so we can see you more often.
Please.
And then go out to eat afterwards.
Especially the go out to the afterwards part.
Exactly. But if you're going to be here, then let's go ahead and wrestle too. So.
Okay.
Those are my main ones. That's fine.
Yep.
The only one that I've had that has been stuck out of my head since it happened, and I'm calling this the Thanos Snap Award, because what's the line in Infinity War? Did you do it? Yes. What did it cost? Everything. Tony Khan airing the footage of Jack Perry and CM Punk, making such a big deal about that. They did it, and what did it cost them? Well, I'd say everything, because what the fuck has AEW really done since then? WWE kind of really got more publicity from that, and all Tony Khan has really got out of it is a TV contract, because it's really, he came out in an interview and said that's the only reason why he really did it. So, put it as controversial at the time, whatever, but I was just like, okay, you did it. Now what? You didn't really do much with it since then. So I just don't fully understand it. So I just kind of, what did it cost you? Everything, because I feel like WWE took off more than AEW did from that point. So,
yeah, no, I agree. It was a controversy. I don't know if it cost them everything though, because I don't know if they hadn't done it, things would have necessarily been better for them that way. Like I kind of feel like it was a no-win for them, honestly.
Yeah, and
as opposed to just like a. But I get what you're saying.
Yeah,
I felt like he wasn't gonna do it until Punk brought it up on an interview.
Yeah. Like did Punk have to bring up what happened, but
really, it's like Mike said, they were kind of stuck either way. It was like they were damned if they did, damned if they didn't. So it didn't really matter either way.
Mm-hmm.
It would have been hilarious if after they reveal the footage, like Punk really had like cowered or be like, no, what's his name? Like no,
Jack,
no, Jack, just calm down, bro. Mm-hmm. That would have been funny. Then that would have actually done them so good.
Yeah.
But no, it was pretty much exactly what he said. I just felt like it was a no-win for them either way.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's Angel. Best Spicy Hermanos They Hate Tommy Award goes to Angel, Marie, and Kali.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Yeah, so she just put that up there. Yeah.
Can we move on to something else now?
All right. I'm gonna say Reinvention Award, I guess you can say. Somebody who dropped a long-time persona and has turned it into something huge goes to Angela Armstrong, formerly Angel Blue, who dropped the persona that she's carried pretty much since she started wrestling. Stuck into a real name, Alaskan Assassin, and has been winning championships just about everywhere she goes. And I'm so very, very proud of her to see that. So pretty awesome.
Angel Blue props for something.
No, you don't. You have to give Angela Armstrong props.
That's what it is. Yeah, exactly. So, yeah.
Mick Foley is still Mick Foley. I don't care what name he uses after.
Not at all. All three different men showed up in that Royal Rumble, so I'm just saying.
And then my final
I hate that
award,
that's a good point. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
my final award is the long-term booking award of the year. And it's only because this guy popped into our chat once and kept a storyline going that he's had going with my son since he was 2 years old. Or maybe it was one at the time. And that's Richie Garcia. Coming in, for those that don't know the story, the very first show my son attended was a hybrid experience show. When they first started, it was a toy drive show. And Richie Garcia was a champion. I forget what promotion at the time he was holding. And
Can't remember.
my son yells out, "Yeah, what do you think about that, Richie?" And to the crowd, delighted. Richie turns around, sees my little kid staring at him, and immediately busts out, "Santa's not real," and just kind of kept that going. And my son didn't back down. It was a highlight of that night. My son still remembers it. And Richie popped into our chat. I forget, maybe a few months ago, and just kept. It
I feel like it was over the summer, but yeah.
Yeah, it was over the summer, but he remembered it, put the same line in there as well, and I love it. Long-term booking of the year. Yes.
Your son's gonna turn 18, go to a show, and Richie, who has not, who probably had one of us on that whole young, is gonna jump in from behind and say, "I was waiting for this day, you little punk. You're 18 now. Let's do it."
I have to find a video I have. Like, not long after that, my son got a WWE Championship belt for like his birthday or something, and he's holding it as my belt. And I go, "Is it Richie's?" "No, it's mine." He's so
hilarious.
Still has that championship on his bed right now as we speak. So yeah. So, all right. Any other crazy superlatives we got out there?
That's all for me.
Not that I can think of.
Yeah, I just happy I got my Kendrick Lamar Hater of the Year award out there because I thought that was hilarious. So anyway.
Final award, and this honestly is the closest this award has ever come as far as that, and that's the Tez Award. It's when we hand out in honor of our friend Tez. It's been what now, 4 years since he passed. Yeah, and that memory came up. It's still heartbreaking to think about, but he still is on this podcast. He was infamous. He wasn't on all the time, but when he came on, he was infamous for just clean sweeping every fucking thing he picked. It was insane.
Not fair at all.
We long talked about wanting to do a show where we would watch WWE ECW December to Dismember and just watch and just react live to it at some point. Obviously, we never got to do that, but we should still do it one day in honor of him. And just and we just point out he would have hated that so much. So the funny part is he actually broke down that pay-per-view on his practitioner blog.
He did. That's right.
Yes. But anyway, we hand this award out to whoever one of us has the best prick percentage of the year. And it actually came down very close to this last event, World's End. This was the slimmest of margins. Third place, 64.23% correct picks. Second place, 64.84% correct. And first place was 65.23% correct.
Jeez, that is real close.
Third place was Mike. Second place was Tommy. And first place was myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
Close.
Wow. I kind of figured when you said it came out to this last event, I was like, okay, then I must have been second because I know there was something I remember earlier I got wrong. I think it's been crazy.
So much back and forth on this and crazy because I started off 4-7 on last year's Wrestle Kingdom and really had to fight my way back. So I had 4 shows where I tested it or swept it. Tommy, you had 2 shows where you did that.
Really? I didn't even know I had 2.
And Mike, you had 2 as well where you tested. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just amazing. Like, yeah, this gets more competitive every year. So
that was fun.
Yeah, it was. Tez, miss you every year. It's our best way to honor you. I hope you're enjoying. Wish you were here to enjoy with us all the wrestling, the how beauty wrestling is right now, how amazing it is. But I know you're still watching, and you'd be blogging if you could. So
yep.
All right. With that, we'll move into our 1-minute warning segment here. Mike, do you have something this week?
Yeah.
All right. Go for it, sir.
So with Raw going to Netflix on Monday, first off, I have been asked to be on another podcast with Amanda and the group she does to talk about it on Tuesday. So I'll let y'all know when that's out and stuff like that. Nice. But I also just want to say people need to pump the brakes on this thought that because it's Netflix, we are going to get like some super overhyped version of the Attitude Era where they're just going to cuss up a storm and everyone's going to be naked and all kinds of crazy stuff. This is still WWE, the money-making juggernaut that needs revenue from companies that want family-friendly stuff. So will a cuss word probably go over the air on a few promos now? Then yeah, probably, right? Because it still does sometimes now. But I think people need to hold off on this thought that it's going to be like, oh, crazy, Attitude Era is back. Like, yeah, it's Netflix, but they still need the full family to be interested. They don't want the kids seeing that stuff and then losing money because they're all about the money.
Yeah, we won't see a lot of cussing until Pat McAfee's back on Raw at this point. So yeah. So. Tommy, you got something this week?
I don't think I do. Honestly,
Okay.
I think since I covered New Japan, I'm good. So.
All right, yeah.
Fair.
All right. Well, as mentioned earlier, yes, the New Japan Rambo is not related to the King of Pro Wrestling this year because Great O'Khan announced the retirement of the championship last week or 2 weeks ago at this point. And my first thought was, you fucking asshole. You're too scared to announce.
Hey, this isn't Netflix. No,
well, whatever. Yeah, you're too scared to. I was going to come and just take that from you before the end of the year, so you went and retired it. No more of this. But you know what? Toru Yano is going to go down as the greatest King of Pro Wrestling champion in this iteration of it because he's the only one that's held that championship twice. He held it for, what's my count here, 476 days, provisional or otherwise. Yeah, Great O'Khan, you didn't do that. Taichi, for all that shit you talk, you didn't do that. Shingo Takagi, you didn't do that. Toru Yano, bask in the glory that is Toru Yano, part of the 6-man tag team of the year in the My WrestleCast Award, and forever the King of Pro Wrestling, the greatest King of Pro Wrestling champion of all time.
Fair enough.
The numbers don't lie. So,
they spell disaster.
For Great O'Khan, that's sacrifice. Okay.
Right. That's what I've been holding on to ever since they announced the deactivation of the championship.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
They should really have like a final King of Pro Wrestling gauntlet that they all wrestle each other just so Toru Yano can win once and for all.
Yeah.
I knew you'd like that.
He gets to come in last because he's the only two-time winner.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of sucks to see that go, but yeah, it is what it is. But he had so much fun carrying
it's
that.
one of the cases where I think the belt was a lot of fun. And,
yes.
and they really turned something that silly into something that turned to be really awesome. But like I said, it had its time. But it was it's all good.
Yeah. So, and it sucks because right after he wins it at Road to Tokyo Dome, and then he just announces a retirement. Like really?
Yeah.
So yeah. So. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us on our first show of 2025, the Count C WrestleCast. Next week we will recap Wrestle Kingdom 19, and then talk a little bit about the Hybrid Experience show that is going to be as more matches get announced, that is going to be coming up next week. So WWE doesn't have a pay-per-view event until February, right? We're almost February 1st, second, I think. So yeah,
like it's like that's like the first weekend in February or like second.
And then TNA is not long before that. I think they're in Dallas and they come to here for Impact. So early part of January, we're going to be kind of working through it and see what happens from there.
Yep.
So, yep.
And also, by the time we do the show again next week, it might be freezing. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, let's see if we all have electricity, if there's moisture runs around and everything like that. So keeping an eye on that. It's going to be dangerously cold in some parts of the country. So please be safe out there. Stay warm. Get your AC heating system checked. Make sure it is good to go. Just because it could be an extended at least week long cold. Some places I think it's going to be in the negative 30s without the wind chill. So just be safe out there, everybody, please. But thank you again. Looking forward to doing this for another year. I'm very proud of how big this show expanded to do so much in 2024. Thank you to Mission Pro, to RCW, to Hybrid, for having your talent come on our show to promote what they're doing.
United 210 and Stash,
BOW.
This started as friends getting together, talking about wrestling, just putting a camera in front of us. And I've always envisioned this in some way being a chance to build up some of that younger talent that comes in through San Antonio. And I've been really happy to see that. Whatever we can do to help, some of these younger talents that are still learning and building up in the process, work on their interviews, work on, just doing podcast interviews like this is going to go a long way in the long run. So I'm very happy with that. So
and not to and this isn't me trying to toot our own horn. It really isn't. And I know you could jokes again, but no, seriously, I'm not doing that. Proof that means something is Jesse Funaki, and that didn't factor into why I gave him that award or anything. But like he tells us all the time how much that first interview after his match at Nostalgia meant to him. He says it to us pretty much every time me and Mike see him, and it makes me feel good that meant so much to him because I think for me and Mike it was just like he's a cool guy. That was his first match. Let's interview him. Let's talk to him about it and everything. And I think for him it meant a lot more. And there's nothing wrong with that. I mean, and I love that we could do that for people. So it just feels good to know that when he has his Netflix documentary about the rise of Jesse Funaki, will be the first 5 seconds.
that footage of the early interview he did in his career.
Sitting at the Nostalgia Con.
Yeah, that'll be the opening, and then they're like,
no, look, I'll toot our own horn a little bit. We had Jesse Funaki's first official interview. We had one of Matty Renkowski's last official interviews as Matty Renkowski, at least for the time being. We've had Thunder Rosa on our air. We've had Genocide Tiffany Nieves, who's killing it right now. Interview-wise, we had Casey way back when it was a different version of Casey Blackrose. We've had Hit on the show, and I know you aren't a big fan of him because he keeps literally hitting you, but that dude's getting ready to blow up.
Yes.
Say what you want about it with the Texas Treat. That was just a fun.
That was amazing.
Yeah.
And we've had Callie on the show.
No, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
Can't say that I recall that happening.
I mean, we've had both between interviews and just bringing people on to the podcast to promote. We've had a lot of names, and it's been fun.
Well, I mean, and just to say, like, I think from the influence of the show, I've gotten to commentate for Mission Pro twice, and I don't take that lightly. Like I said, I was talking about. I made my post earlier today about everything I did last year. So like just the fact that I got to do that twice, was just awesome to me. Ted put it in the chat. Favorite interview of 2024.
I don't know if we could name one.
I don't.
I will say, like you said, having the Treats on the show for an hour or whatever.
Like unfortunately, that was a lot of fun.
That was a lot of fun.
I hate them all. So I also love that Diego forgot he was evil for like 5 seconds because of Spider-Man. So
we had Dream World before they broke up. After that very short.
That was fun. That was fun for a lot of reasons.
We've had.
We had one of the last interviews for Angel Blue before the persona change for her as well.
Yeah, we had her.
Yeah.
We also had Izzy from NostalgiaCon.
Mm-hmm.
Before she went on to eventually win that title. We've had a lot of great ones. I don't know if I could narrow it down to one. Just too difficult.
Mm-hmm. So, Nick.
You had some small ones with Nick Nemeth and Laredo Kid.
Oh my God, I forgot that I did that. Like legitimately, that slipped my mind that I did that. Oh my God, and that was a fun interview.
Yeah.
Maybe we are getting old, so I mean,
No, dude, you know
what?
That's part of it.
Pardon?
Well, that's part of it, dude. I've legitimately forgot all the crap I did this year. Like for one, perfect example. Maddie Mason, who's a cosplayer, she was at NostalgiaCon in December. I completely forgot that the first time I met her was January last year. We thought it was 2023. We were like, no, that was January this year. She was like, no, it wasn't. I was like, yeah, it was. It's like, oh my God, that was.
Mick Foley, Sergeant Slaughter, Lita,
I had Thunder Rosa and Rikishi.
Right, Thunder Rosa Rikishi at a con.
But see, I count those as panels. This is why
sure, but still.
Whenever he says interview, I keep getting, to me, in my brain, interview and panel are, they switch.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Amazing stuff, and I'm looking forward to seeing what happens in 2025.
2025.
Yeah, so much to go, and
it's going to be lit.
My wrestling continued to get better. So
Ernest Miller, Stevie Ray.
yeah.
That was this year.
That was like a few months ago, dude. Yeah.
That was this year. That was all that was this year. Jeez Louise. I go, dude. I forgot that was this year.
All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining us. Again, we'll be back next week, kind of see where this goes. So over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. As always, for favorite face number. Pro wrestling is real.
People
Are fake. Happy New Year, everyone. Catch you next week.
Adios, Gunther. Na 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 na